What's poppin', everybody? This is the cartoon kid Ray Rawlins, and today we're bringing it back with that Futurama review of season 1, episode 4, or no, I'm sorry, 5, Fear of a Bot Planet. Now, before we get into it, Mr. Alex Payne, you got to give us that episode breakdown as usual, man. What happened?
Well, this episode, in terms of plot, is pretty simple, really. It starts off with them at a Blurns ball game, and Bender pretty much feels like robots are unappreciated on the planet, so they go back to work because they have a delivery, and they have to deliver a box to, I forget the name of the planet, but let's just call it the robot planet. So they, obviously, because they're on the robot planet, they hate humans. So Bender has to make the delivery, and he tries to, make excuses and try to say it's Robonica, so he could get out of doing it. But Hermes tell him, it's like, look, you ain't got no more days off left, so carry your ass. So they, Bender agrees, and they go. When they lower Bender on the planet, eventually they get a transmission from him saying they figured him out that he works for humans. So Leela and Fry go down to save him on the planet dressed up as robots. So they're trying to avoid being noticed and trying to save Bender, and that's the description of the episode.
Listen, man, I'm sick, man. I think I got a case of the tuberculosis. I had to rewind that shit back when I heard that. Like, did this nigga just say tuberculosis? But I'm like, okay, all right. I give him a A for creativity, I suppose. Robotica, I think that's a cool holiday too. But I will say this, man. This episode definitely has episode 4, the Zap Brannigan episode, beat out of the water. I definitely enjoyed this one more. Had its fair dose of funny moments.
I'm kind of
And I
surprised you
suppose
remembered Zap Brannigan's name so clearly.
me too. Well, I had to watch the episode twice to do the video and shit. So, but anyway, I will say this though. This episode, I wouldn't say it had like a deep underlying message, but
I feel like it did though. I really want to say
it did, but it did. Like people are able to recognize that. When I was watching this, I was like, man, you know what? People really legit don't appreciate the usefulness of robots. Like, and I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like simple robots like calculators, cash registers, like simple shit like that. People don't realize how good we got it. Like even the motherfucking robots at the self checkout aisle. Yo, that shit is dope. And people don't fucking realize it, man. People need to appreciate that shit more. Like, you know what's another good one too? Let's see, we said self checkout, motherfucking ATM machines. You motherfucking eliminate having to deal with bank tellers and shit.
iPads.
So, iPad, all that shit is like robots, and it's pretty damn dope. We got that shit in the world,
I
and
feel like I also want to say though, I kind of feel like this episode was low-key about like the different forms of racism in a
you know
way.
what? That too.
Because like
And
on
I do
Earth, it's
think,
like the unappreciative kind of using them version of racism, and then on the planet, it's like the terror and because because see, that's the thing. People look at like the
they
hatefulness of
stereotype
racism.
humans on the
Yeah,
robot planet. They stereotype humans because
no,
I
that
kind of
too.
thought the same thing too.
No, that too. It's the stereotypes because like when people think racism, the main thing they think of is the hatred. But there's also a brand of racism where like they're just terrified of that other race or something for whatever
Right,
reason.
right.
So it's that genuine fear of them. So I think they was covering the multiple facets, and there's that little bit of government and shit like that because like,
Yeah,
with the elders they was trying to basically push them to hate humans to try distract them from their issues and shit.
right. So there's a lot going on with this episode with messages and shit like that. And I think that's pretty. When you see that shit in cartoons, I think that's supposed to be meant for kids. And you can argue if this is meant for kids or not. It's really not. But either way, it's supposed to be a senseless form of media that's supposed to be for entertainment. But this shit has underlying hidden messages and some messages that are right there out in the open where you're meant to see. And I think that's pretty dope. It promotes the idea of thinking, and that's what I like about cartoons and shit like that, man. So that automatically got a bunch of points for me on that. I suppose we can get into moments right now. What are some of your favorite moments in this episode?
a lot of my favorite moments like kind of have to do um with the old man, Mr. Farnsworth, because for some reason, like Professor Farnsworth, for some reason I was blanking out on his name just now. Like when they were,
Really?
yeah, because like I thought it was really funny when they was at the ball game and the friggin' he got the buzzer and he was like, oh God, it's my pager, and then he pulled it out, like
Yeah,
making it seem like
like
he was
you
having a
thought
heart attack or something.
some serious shit was happening. Like, whoa, you good, Carl? You
Like listen,
alright?
I've seen this episode 1,001 times, but for some reason, for a second there, I thought the episode was gonna be like he's having a heart attack, and he takes it. Like I thought the joke was gonna be I'm having a heart attack, and then he pulls out the pills and takes the pill and be like, that's better, type of way. But no. So that was really funny to me. And then when Bender was like on his whole spiel and everything, it's like, okay, well I'm gonna do it, but I'll never forgive the rest of you. Well, it's settled then. Off we go.
Like they don't give no. Listen, that dude just give no fucks about nobody. Well, you're doing this shit. Here we go. You're out of here. So I don't care what you feel. You're doing this shit regardless.
Um,
I gotta say, go ahead.
the moment when Fry was peeing and the guy was trying
Yeah,
to give
I
him the
was gonna
hot
say
resin.
that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did she said some searing hot resin. I'm like, ooh, you don't want that on your dick. I don't know what that is, but you don't want that shit up on there. And
I
I
think
sure
that's what
thought
they
they was
used
gonna
to
do it
seal
too.
metal or some shit like that.
Ooh, his shit was gonna be sealed.
And the funny thing, and the last one I'll mention, and I'll put it over to you, even though I feel like I low-key stole most of them. But um, the moment when they was coming out of when they was going hunting or whatever, and Leela was like, try to stay close, no, try to stay
Oh
with the
yeah,
crowd so everyone don't see how crummy you look. And the guy, and she was talking to the wrong guy. He's like, wow, that was uncalled for.
just fucking treated the robot's life. I gotta say too, when they were in the movie theater and they were watching like the movie and whatnot, I forgot what exactly was said. I want to say it kind of sounded like Fry. And it was like, oh, that's terrible, or some
Yeah.
shit like that. He just fucking hollered some shit out. I'm like, dude, sit your ass down. They talking about your people. It's it's just like, man, I've been in the movie theater probably like maybe I say one movie theater we went to, it was a real ghetto spot where niggas was just hollering shit out for no reason. We was watching a scary movie. Well, I think it was The Boy, and people was just hollering, "Don't open that door!" And I fucking hate that shit, but at the same time, it's so fucking funny. Um, and last but not least, I gotta say another one of my moment was when they're in the trial and shit, and the judge is gonna give down the verdict, and he just had to reboot his system and shit. And I'm like, man, this is a really inefficient style where you guys got running things, man. Judge just shut down.
Speaking
Like,
of
we already
that,
know that. Go ahead.
Speaking of that, it was really funny to me, like when the guy with the hot resin realized that there was humans, and then like Leela kicked him, and then the two like guards came and grabbed him, and then the guards had this like super like I don't even know how to describe it, but just this like super robot-ish old as fuck computer sounding voices, and that was funny to me. Oh, and you got it. Speaking of the guards, though, like the other guards when they pull up on them, it's like, which one do you want? A puppy,
Oh
a
yeah.
rose from your sweetie, or a tightly compressed data file?
And
Choose.
I was thinking, I was legit trying to answer this question how a robot would. I'm like, the first
Okay.
one, I'm obviously you don't want to fuck with that. The flower was kind of like, but that turned out to be one of the right answers. But I'm like, oh no shit, it's a data file, no shit. And Fry said it, so I'm like, oh, I thought Fry was supposed to be a dummy. Shout out to you, man, you got it. My last moment that I liked was when they were all in prison and Bender was given the order to execute them. And he was like, man, because Bender was trying to fake it with the people and shit. He was famous. He wanted to stay there. And we can't forget the porno store either, the robot porn store. And I was like, man, this shit's stupid. But it was kind of funny. You get a nice little chuckle. It gives a
To kill
spot
him,
where
Jake.
Bender and Fry, yeah. So he was supposed to have to kill him. He's like, man, I can't do it. These guys are good humans. They're my friends. Da da da. Woo woo woo. And they basically had to find their own way off the planet. Which I like the fact that Bender finally came around, man. Because if Bender was gonna, I mean, obviously, that shit was gonna happen from the beginning. But it's just like it's kind of good Bender came around the way he did. So I really like that, man. And he stuck up for his friends and they got out that jam. Oh, when they were climbing onto the ship, he's like, "Oh wait, I gotta deliver the package." He
Yeah,
just
they just
drops the
drop it on
package.
it.
It was like, "Oh yeah, lug nuts or whatever the fuck they said."
Lug
And they
nuts. The
and they
humans are great.
oh, they did say that, didn't they? Humans are great. And then they flew home and whatnot, which, good way to end the episode. So I guess we're crossing over the final review portion. I gotta say, like I said earlier, this hands down beat the Zap Brannigan episode out of the water. For being 5 episodes in, I'm really taking a liking to Futurama. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, there's only 2 episodes that felt like kind of like I'm not really fucking with these, but they were still good. And that's the Zap Brannigan and the festival episode, not the
Hmm.
carnival one, the amusement
Yeah.
park one. Um, but the robot, the roommate one, the first one, and this one were pretty darn good episodes. So I really gotta say, good series so far. In this episode, the messages really got me right there. Like that's what I fuck with when I'm watching cartoons and shit. Like they're supposed to be mindless entertainment, but they have some episodes that promote thinking, and this was one of them, which I really liked and I can respect the hell out of. And they kept a good dose of comedy, a good dose of funniness too, which I really enjoyed too. So good balance between the two. I'm gonna hit this one with a nice 7.5 out of 10. Really good episode.
I think for me, this episode, it kind of suffers a little bit from the overwatching thing, but I'm not gonna try to judge it from that aspect because that's kind of unfair.
Right.
But um, I think this is a really good and funny episode. I feel like um, when it comes to the series, I feel like season one is probably like a weaker season of the show, if you ask me.
Really? Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so because I feel like the episodes start to get a lot better as you move on, especially like from the start of season three and all that. I mean, season two and all that other shit too. But I mean, not that any of these are bad. I'm just saying. But like I said, I thought the episode was really good. I thought it had nice pacing, interesting idea with the the planet and inhabited by robots. So I think I'm gonna give it a solid 7. A nice
Okay.
strong 7. A nice
Okay, all
big
right.
beefy robot guard 7.
I can agree with that. That's fair enough. So there you guys have it. Ray Rawlins, that's me, give it a 7.5, and Mr. Alex Payne gives it a 7. And that has been our review for Futurama Season 1, Episode 5, Fear of a Robot Planet. Pretty good, interesting one, man. Y'all know what it is. This is the channel where we talk cartoons and we do it daily, man. Cartoon Kid channel. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that dislike if you didn't fuck with us and don't subscribe, all that good shit. And as always, tell us what you think in the comments below of this episode, man. And if you want us to review something different, let us know. We're always open to some suggestions, man. But with all that being said, y'all know who he is. Y'all know what we do. We will see you tomorrow for that classic SpongeBob review. Peace.